Go ahead and record. Okay. So once we've, built rapport with someone and really connected them and established a place of trust where they're like, I like you, right? And like, let's see, now we want to enroll them into our journey, right? And really, where are you going? And how does Cutco help you get there faster, better, stronger, right? More equipped. And so the slideshow, this was something I was talking with Sasha about the other day, is just, it is an amplifier for connection. Okay. Because people remember, they don't remember all the things you said. They remember how you made them feel and they remember pictures, okay, things they saw. Like the human mind remembers stuff. Like at the end, Anna, I might now remember everything. But I'm like, oh, I remember that picture with your dog. Like I know she like loves her dog, or I know she's going to College Station, going to Blinn and then doing this because like there was like emblems and pictures, or we talked about that whatever it might be, or oh, they're going to A&M, and there's a picture of the stadium and going through, and they remember those things. So I want to make sure that like some of you might feel like you're doing a pretty good job, like sharing goals audibly, but I'm telling you guys, you're only scratching the surface on connection. Okay, and so when they see the pictures, well, one, psychologically, they feel like, oh, they actually care about this, right? Like Jackson actually cares about this, where she took time to put this together. So there's an aspect of like, wow, they really must be excited about this if they took the time to make this like goal slideshow, right? So just like putting time into that. But then it's really neat to see, like for most of my customers, they were like, wow, that's amazing. I didn't know they did that or they offered that. And so how do you share your goals in a way that enrolls them? So I'm going to go ahead and do this for you guys here real quick. Let me press here. So, my name is Cathy, or I'm Gabe, do you mind? I'm like, thank you so much again for just taking time out for me. And actually, this was something Jax talked about earlier. Like when you guys walk into a house or you start the presentation, and I apologize before that we get to hear, like when they open the door for me, the first thing I would do is like look them straight in the eyes and be like, Miss Sandra, first off, I'm like, Cathy, so good to finally meet you. Or I like hug, I'm a hugger. But I'm like, thank you so much, for just taking time out for me today. I'm like, I know like how busy parents can be. And I just want to say I appreciate your time so much. Some of you guys have heard me talk about at the end of Rex. Oh, by the way, I do say that again. I'm going to say it there. I'm going to say it when I start my goals, and I'm going to say it at the end. Really appreciating their time because I want them back focused on how their time helped me before I ask for referrals. Okay. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow, but that's really important that they need to feel like they actually helped you if they're going to give you people. All right. So back to here. So I walk in, it's a big thank you. Or if I'm in a virtual, like before we even dive in, I'm like, I just want to say how much I appreciate you taking time for me. I'm like, I know how busy moms can be. And I just want to really just thank you and honor you for your time and just tell you how much I appreciate. I mean, this helps me so much. I'm super excited. I'm like, is it cool if I share with you like why I'm working so hard and what I'm excited about? They're like, absolutely. And I'm like, beautiful. All right. And so ignore that these slides don't have my stuff. We're just going to roll with it. So yeah. So I'm actually a student at Old Miss. All right. We're going to see if this wants to go back full screen. But yeah, so I'm currently studying international business and, grew up in South Florida, did this, whatever. I chat a little bit about me. And, for me, I'm the oldest of four kids. And so being an example to my siblings has always been a big deal, and so being able to really succeed in school and, be at the top of my class was something that, my parents always like drove, encouraged me to go bigger, drive bigger. But I think that that's something later on that became really important to me, just because I grew up in a lower income household. We didn't have much. My parents, have lived off of disability and unemployment for most of our lives. And so to be able to be an example to my siblings of like, we could have a different life, we could do something else, like a big goal for the future is to create financial freedom. By age 14, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur because I wanted to control my time. I wanted to be able to travel the world. I wanted to be able to give freely. You know, I always heard growing up, like, oh, we can't do this because we don't have money, or we can't do this because we don't have time, because we have to work, because we have to pay for this. And I just remember hearing that over and over and just hating that as a young child. And being like, gosh, like I just want, like time and money. And so yeah. And so I became really excited about the opportunity to own my own business one day. And I'm not sure exactly what business I want to own, right? Where obviously Gabe is talking about he wants to have a construction company and build custom homes and whatever. Like, that mine is different. I was like, I don't know exactly what business I want to own, but I know that I need the skill sets to get there, right? And this job, I randomly heard about this like from school. Actually found a business card in the parking lot, and then ended up finding out that this company worked super close with my university. And so I actually can earn college credits working with Cutco. I can earn scholarships for school. They give 100 scholarships every single year. And in addition to that, there's so many resume boosters that I can have that help me for the future. There's this hand signed letter of the president from the president of the company, which is a letter of recommendation. So once I apply for like grad school, or if I'm applying for top level internships with like dream companies, it can really help differentiate me and help me stand out amongst the other applicants in my industry. And so some of these other things like Consistency Club, one of my goals is to always be over $1,000 every single week, and to be able to show that I'm a consistent performer. I'm someone who's dependable. I'm not just a one-hit wonder, right? The scholarship, which I mentioned, that's one of the different scholarships that I can earn. And on the bottom, there's actually another scholarship for, helping build the team. And so, and by the way, if you have any nieces or nephews or kids that are like, high school seniors or graduated, definitely something worth checking out. This program, just because it offers so much for us. There's a leadership academy that we have, and this is actually ran during the fall if I get accepted into it, and it teaches us how to run a business. And if things go well, the goal is next year to actually be able to be selected for the entrepreneurship internship. This is the number one top internship, and they offer different internships. There's a management internship, talent acquisition, there's a sales internship, there's a social media. But this right here is the one that really excites me the most, because it'll help me stand out when I graduate. There's so many college graduates, Miss Susie, I'm sure you know, that like don't even end up working in the industry that they studied, right? Or can't land a job after college. And so for me, my goal is to do everything I can while I'm in school to set myself apart. And so having an opportunity to run my own business as a young person. So here's how this works. Like if I go through the program and if I get selected, the company gives us like $8,000 to pay for all the basics to start our business. It's basically, I'd be running a franchise for the company as a summer job. And so it's a 3 to 4 month internship where we're in charge of like budgeting, forecasting, business planning, like we pay for advertising. We really start up a business. And so instead of just studying that at school, right, and like getting a grade, I'm like, I actually get to learn that here in action. And so the ups and downs emotionally, mentally, like learning all these things that really help for the future. And so that is something I'm looking to stand out big time. And so the first step is I need to get to New York. And so we have, there's a big corporate recruiting trip where they actually take all of the top candidates from this summer. All the top candidates get invited, and it's limited. So you have to get an invitation to go, but they take the top people from all of Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Alabama. Yeah, I think I said all of Texas, but that's like the Southwest region. They take the top 10 to 15 from every single division. And so my goal is to be one of those people for the Houston, the Gulf Coast area. Florida. And so we get a chance to go to the factory. We get a chance to meet the owners, the executives. We get a chance to meet all of our like competition for the internships. We get to go to Niagara Falls and just have a play day, right? See one of the wonders of the world with some really great motivated people. And that's something I've really enjoyed so far with the company, being able to meet so many young people who are driven, who are focused, who are really wanting to create a great life for themselves. And so it's been really cool to be surrounded by a pretty amazing group of humans. And so currently, my goal is to sell $30,000 by the end of summer. And actually mine was by the end of July. So maybe you adapt yours, right? And so by the end of July, being able to do that and having the opportunity to go and to be in bonus land, to be one of the top picks for the internship. Typically, most of the guys who will be opening offices will be at that mark, the 30,000 plus mark. And so I want to like stand out by the end of summer, already being there to be able to be a top performer and a top candidate. So right now I'm at 13,000. So if you want to just write me a check for 17 grand, that would be amazing. Then I'll definitely hit it. Like, I'm just kidding. I'm like, but keep a lookout, you know, like I said, Miss Anna, I get paid every time just for doing it. Like I said on the phone. But if you guys have any weddings coming up, birthdays, holidays, you know, different things that you guys might need gifts for, we've got Christmas in July going down right now. All right. And so a lot of people love to take advantage of that. We do corporate gifting, like a strategic gifting. So you can actually, if someone owns a business, I don't know if y'all do, or if you know someone, but they can put their logo or their emblem, and now it's 100% write-off because it's an advertising cost. Cool. And you guys can make this prettier. I didn't finish this slide. But anyway, so we have the best specials of the year that go on in July. And so a lot of people love to get ahead on stuff that they'll need for the holidays now. And I'll talk about that more later. There's like an easy pay that's interest-free. So basically everything's paid off by the time we get to December. And so right now we're about a week and a half away from our biggest competition. It actually kicks off on the 20th of July. So Monday, July 20th, the whole country is going to be competing for 2.5 weeks. And it'll end at this event on August 9th. That'll be over in Austin, Texas. And so there'll be all these different divisions. These are all division managers. They'll all be coming in. My boss is the lady up top. She's one of 2 women in North America in her role. And so we need more women at the top. So excited to keep growing and learning and being a part of that. But this event, we have an opportunity to meet with the creme de la creme from all over Texas and Oklahoma, and some from a couple of the outskirts states that'll come in for that. But getting a chance to mingle, learn with the best, but really prepare for the fall. And so time management, back to school, learning about leadership and management opportunities, and just networking with some really high caliber people. If you see on the bottom left, like these guys have sold a lot of knives. And so these people are all going to be there and teaching. I mean, and you guys, I don't know if you've seen that, but it's like Josh is almost at 12 million in sales. Chelsea's at 8.5 million. Joseph's at 8.2 million. Carlton's at 4.6 million. I mean, these are the people that you're going to get to learn from at this event. So I'm like, so I really want to get there. And so we'll talk about later. If you end up liking me, you like the presentation and the products, there's actually a way you can help sponsor my event, buying anywhere from 1 to 3 pairs of scissors. Every pair of scissors helps take off $100 from my event. So we'll chat more about that later. And then I'll show you guys how to talk about this once we get there. And I'm like, so just building momentum right now to get to the Super Bowl. And then Miss Susie, there's a free way to help. This has nothing to do with sales. This is just for introducing me to nice people like Jackson introduced me to you. And so, oh, look, and there's Dr. Andretta. Do you know her too? Oh, cool. And so, yeah, I'll show you later how you can be a sponsor as well. My goal is to sell in all 50 states. And so we'll talk about that later. But lastly, if you do end up purchasing, know that you're also making an impact. around the world. We do a ton to give back. My office every single month donates to Angel Wings. My boss actually helped build this medical clinic with a lot of representatives from Gulf Coast, from our division, and from across the nation. This is down in Haiti, and it's a medical clinic that we built, and we sponsor and send money to each month. We're actually doing a fundraiser for that. You guys will hear from Francisco Herrera next week on that. And then Front Row Foundation is kind of like a Make-A-Wish Foundation, but it was founded by Cutco people. So, but thank you again so much for just taking time out for me. Like I said, I know how busy moms are, and so I really, really appreciate it. So if you want to go over to the link that I sent you and go ahead and join that. And then on your end, you're going to start right on slide 3 because you've already covered the rest. All right. And so here's what I want to say here for you guys, all right, is that this part here, and when you guys are talking about the internship, the entrepreneurship, there's two boats that you're in, one of two boats on this one. Either one, you want to really get a great job with a top company in your industry, right? Or you want to have your own business. That's where basically everybody that's on here falls into one of those two, or you're still figuring out which one, right? And so you can talk about that here where it's like, I want to have my own business one day. And so what better thing to do than to get a chance to run a franchise for $250 million company with a phenomenal product with existing programs and really have a great support system to start learning and building some of the mental and emotional muscles of what it takes to run a business, right? And you can talk about that. Or, you're wanting to just really stand out and you're like, I'm not sure what I want to do in the future. Running my own business sounds cool, but there are definitely some companies I would love to work with first. And so I'm excited about doing something like this to really stand out. Because if there's like 5 other applicants in my industry applying for the same job, like I want something on my resume that pops, right? And so when a hiring person, an employer sees, oh my gosh, wait, you did what? While you were in college, you ran your own franchise for $250 million company. Tell me more about that, right? And like it helps me stand out from other applicants. That's what I'm really looking for. Like anything I can get on my resume, experience-wise, to build my confidence, my skill sets, but also on paper help me stand out and beat out other applicants there. Cool. So anyway, so I just wanted to share that. So I want to open it up really quick for any questions, and I will send these recordings out.